what's going on, everybody? Smug JSG and Hub, and today we are going to come at you with a comprehensive video of everything that is confirmed to be in the upcoming title of Maximum Football. As summer approaches and spring winds down, we know that we are coming closer on the release date of this game for early access. So, without further ado, let's go into all the features that are confirmed in this one comprehensive video. And I think it's kind of right to start it out the QB position. So we'll go right into the QB threat dev update that came out, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. Let's jump right into it. And this is about the QB threat. Now, in this dev update, they went through that the QB is either a low, medium, or high running threat, depending on how close he is to the line of scrimmage, how close he is to the hashes, and how fast he is moving. The faster he is, and the closer he is to the line of scrimmage, the more of a threat that he is. Now, the defenders will behave differently depending on the threat level of the QB. If he is a high threat, they will abandon their responsibilities and chase him. If it's a medium threat, they will pursue the quarterback if they have no one else to guard. Now, if the QB is a low threat, the defenders will simply shade towards him without abandoning their current responsibilities. Now, if you look in this diagram and we'll move it forward just a tad, and the defender is within the red circle, then he will pursue the QB using the high threat AI. If the defender is in the orange circle when the QB is a medium threat, then the defenders will behave as if he's a medium threat. Now, if the defender is in the yellow circle when the QB is a low threat, then the defender will behave with the low threat AI. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. A lot of this, has to do with offensive line play, how running backs will, pick up the defenders in these threat areas pursuing the quarterback. But I really like to see that they're adding this layer of authenticity to gameplay. It really shows, those little attentions to detail. How many times have you been playing in Madden when a quarterback gets, he's 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and your defender is finally responding to what he's doing? And we're going to see how this is going to work in conjunction with the O-line avoidance tech that they're putting in the game. It'll be interesting to see how these two things mesh together and as far as containing mobile quarterbacks in this game when it's finally released to PCs for early access in the spring and to consoles on the fall. But once again, right up there on the screen is the dev notes with what all of the different colors of the circles mean, kind of get you underneath the hood to see how they are developing this tech. So that's the QB threat dev update that they dropped about a month ago. Let's go ahead and go on to the next dev update that was dropped. Now, this one right here is a favorite of mine. I used to be a running back, so I have a lot of interest in this, even though in the current world of the NFL, they seem to devalue running backs. They're not worth first round picks. Well, unless you're Bijan Robinson. But this dev update was called The Mind of a Running Back. And this was kind of short but sweet one. But you kind of get the details if you can follow the diagrams and how they have the lines coded and whatnot. But let me quit bloviating and get right to it. Now, in this dev update, they said the ball carrier decides where to navigate based on a lot of factors. Where are the closest threats? Where are his blockers? Where's the end zone? Where's the sideline? Where is the line of scrimmage and what direction is he currently going? These factors are dynamic. They change every frame. In one frame, a certain path may be open. The next, the path may be closed up by defenders that get into range. I'm going to reel that back a little bit. Now, the running back is analyzing different paths, deciding which will get to the end zone fastest while avoiding the most immediate threats. And as you can look here by the diagrams, you can see that the green line, that is water. It is the path of least resistance. The yellow line shows where there could be a little bit of a degree of difficulty, and where the red lines are, those are not the most optimal paths to go. As you can look and you see the defender up there at the 40-yard line. If the runner decided to put his foot into the ground, yes, you do have that yellow area with this blocker. You know, you can see he has that defender kicked out. Okay, so you know there's a little bit of resistance. You know, that could be a 5-yard gain, but the best path for him to go would be the green line. As you can see, there's lots of green grass in front of him. He has the opportunity to beat the defender with speed to the outside based on what his attributes are and cut that bad boy up the sideline and possibly score, depending on the angles that the defensive backs take to pursue him. And if you look at all of the red lines, those are not the best routes to take. As you can see, you know, he would either have to bounce outside or there is a defender in the immediate area that, you know, could tackle him or catch him. These ones right here, you can see, you know, you have the red lines here going to the left, the orange, which, you know, wouldn't be the best because he's kind of bowing that outside where he could just follow the green line. It would get him upfield the most distance, you know, away from a defender. I don't know if there's another DB hiding over there on the left side of the screen, but I like to see that they're putting this attention to detail as far as, you know, running back AI goes. And I really want to see how this plays out in AI versus AI games. Somebody posted in one of the Maximum Discords weeks ago that if you want to see how sim a game is, run a couple games of AI versus AI and see what your results are actually watching the game and see how the AI behaves. That will let you know how close to sim the game is. And with the foundation that Modus is building here, I think that they are trending in the correct direction. And so without further ado, let's get into the next dev update of things that are confirmed in the game. And the reason we know them is because they posted them and we got a chance to see them. Okay, so let's get to the position that is everybody's favorite, which is the wide receivers. Now, they released this is like a couple weeks ago, and the dev note goes as follows. The blue line below represents the intended route of the receiver. As you can see, it's you know, like a 7-yard out and up. Now, the red line shows the actual route that the receiver will run, which is determined by the player attributes. Apparently, this guy is a sloppy route runner. As you can see, the cuts aren't as crisp. He really doesn't get directly, you know, towards the sidelines and back up field, and then you can even see towards the top of the route, he starts to kind of like bow it in just a little bit, slightly. You can hardly see it, but you know, it's off. Now, keep in mind that the route can change dynamically if the receiver is bumped during the play. He will aim for the location within the circles that are shown in the image. Receivers with a higher route running attribute have smaller circles. This guy has rather large circles that you look at, so he can really get knocked off of this route, which means that there's less room for error. They're less likely to deviate from the intended route. Some receivers have smaller circles than others, which indicates that they have a higher route running attribute. Receivers with a higher route running attribute will be more ready to catch passes as they arrive, right as they come out of sharp turns and cuts. And what I like about this is, based on how wide receivers run routes, you can actually build rapport with the receiver. Some people might prefer the receivers to run tight routes. Some people might like a wide receiver that kind of varies from the route. And as we look right here, you know, you can see the variation there once again. As you can see, look, there's the blue line. It's, you know, right, you know, it's pretty much like a nice slant. You know, you got those, you know, he's getting off the ball up and then he's downfield. and you see what he's actually going to run, which is a little bit outside. And in a perfect world, you would like your wide receiver to get underneath and over. So once again, it's nice to see that they're adding all of these details. It's going to be nice to see how they interact with the defensive backs, and I'm wondering if these the circle points on the actual route show points of interaction, where a defensive back could put a hand on them, knock them off this route, and once again that goes in conjunction with what they're doing with these circles. So Steve Young said it perfectly, that the passing game is like a perfectly choreographed dance. Everything has to happen in a certain timing. And so much in Madden, it's just pretty much just taken down to, once again, just speed and play art. This makes it more of a dance and a rhythm. Everybody can pretty much have, what's your cup of tea? You might like your receivers who run tight routes. You might be okay with somebody who has a little bit lower attributes and, the routes aren't as tight. You might not be a timing based team. I would imagine if you had a pocket quarterback that, like on a 3-step drop, you want very precise route runners. You want them to be where they're supposed to be because you want that quarterback to get the ball out of his hand when he's supposed to. But then again, you can have the receivers that run more loose routes because, your quarterback is more of an improver or a scrambler. So there is room for error. And once again, I hate to keep on saying it, it's nice to see that they are taking all of this in and putting it into the game so we can see actual simulated football. This is something that Madden hasn't done in a long time. They never show us how the logic works, but this gives the chance for the individual buying the game to actually look at it, see how it operates, and see if it makes sense to them. Now, me as a former coach, this makes 100% sense, and I can't wait until we see all these pieces put together. Now, this video has gone a little bit longer than what I originally thought, so I'm going to break it into 2 parts. So in the next video, we'll get into the screenshots and what they revealed. We'll get into some of the videos that they dropped, specifically the one about hit detection. Oh yeah, so that's where all the good stuff's at. So there's been a lot of information released for this game. I figured if I could put all of it into one video so you don't have to go through all the fluff of the what ifs and what might be in the game. We're just going to give you what we actually know that is in the game. So make sure that you like and subscribe. And for any and all Maximum News, make sure you tune in here at SGN Hub. Until next time, Smokin' Jay, I will see you either in the ring or on the field.